So he said the fastest depreciating asset in the world is me and you as human beings.
And we are back. Blacklights podcast live on air. And yo, we have a special treat for y'all today. We have Milwaukee legend Shake James in the building with the Blacklights podcast crew. What's up?
What up, her? How you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. D, any?
Man, I'm just excited to sit down and finally be able to chop it up with you. Shout out to Adidas for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
We specifically picked you because we know all the work you've been doing with the brand and how real you are in the community. So I'm excited to dive into the conversation.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And we got to kick off the conversation as far as just even take us back. Day one. I mean, we know you at Shake James today, but like going all the way back, like take us through your personal journey and even with your partnership, because it's a long-standing partnership with Adidas.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a long story, but
That's all right.
Basically, I grew up, in the inner city, super poor. You know, my mother hates when I tell this story, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true. And so, like, I had some cousins that was, they was bad. They was breaking in houses, stealing cars, stuff like that. And my mother, she wanted to keep me away from them, but they was my big cousins, and they lived in the basement, and all of us live upstairs. It probably was like 13 of us in a 2-bedroom house. It was crazy. And they used to always be in the basement. And so one day my mother came home and she was like, you know how many stairs it is from the top of the stairs to the bottom? And I was like, look, and I started counting. I was like 13. She said, if your foot touched that second stair, I'm a,
Whoop
yeah.
that. No, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. And so one day she came home, man, from work. She had, she was working at it was an old company called Woolworth. Old company. She's working at Woolworth, came home. She's like, yo, I got some money, extra money. I want to buy you something for your birthday. And I was like, okay. So she took me to this store called JL Market. I'll never forget it. So we walked in there, and the guy got, I guess they had it all planned out or whatever. So she got the new shoes or whatever, and that, she thinking, like, she said, so you want those right there, right? And so I looked, and I said, yeah, I want those. And she said, yeah, he'll take them. And I said, no, not those. Those. And I pointed to a pair of Adidas.
Wow, okay.
I pointed to a pair of Adidas, and that's kind of like where it started from. And I just always felt like Adidas was about the culture. It was more than just, like, to me, like, I'm a loner, but I'm a leader too. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, I always wanted to just kind of like do my own thing. But when I saw that first Adidas, it kind of spoke to me. So that's kind of like where the love started for me.
That's what's up.
No.
So, curious, like, how did you then get in the actual partnership with Adidas?
Ooh, so I had went to Adidas used to send out these invites to the Adidas Christmas party. So every year you get the invite to the Christmas party. And so one year I wasn't doing nothing, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go. So I went to Portland, checked it out, started meeting people. And it's kind of like when you meet somebody and they here, you should still treat them like they here.
Absolutely.
Because you never know, right?
You never know.
And so I always try to show everybody love. And so a lot of people was like, oh, what's up, Shake? And, I'm getting cards from people and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm mingling, talking to people. And so then when I went back to my hotel room, the phones wasn't as prevalent as they is now. So I got a ton of cards in my pocket. So I'm going through the cards, and I see John Wexler, and I see Vice President of the Global Marketing. I said, what? I was like, Wex came up, right? So I said, Wex, what would I have to do to get a store like in Milwaukee? And so we started talking, and then 2 days later, a friend of mine named Greg McGowan, he my friend now, but I didn't know, I knew him just on Instagram. And so he messaged me one day, because I'm always posting crazy Adidas, so he messaged me one day, and he said, it looked like we about to take this relationship further than Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what? So then he was like, yeah, I'm finna be your rep. And then he said, send me pictures of the street. And, so I was like, okay. So I didn't really know, I know now, but at that time I didn't know what I was doing. I said, why you want to see the streets? So I took the street. He's like, send me pictures of the storefront, the store. And I took all the pictures. And then the next thing you know, Clicks was born. So I had the store.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was in it started in 2013. The store opened up in 2014.
Wow.
Got it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did you always know that you wanted to have like a store?
Nah. Nah, it was
Like,
it was
what were
like
you doing before that, or like, what was that like process up to that?
I was just hanging out. I was being a knucklehead.
Okay.
You know, I was being a knucklehead, and so like in Milwaukee at the time, you could drive without a license, but when you got caught, you would always get a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm driving, so I always get a ticket. So you know, like I say, I'm a knucklehead, so the ticket's like $500. So I'm like, here, you're paying the $500, paying the $500. And so one day they pulled me over and they said, you got to go to jail. And I said, what? For driving? And they was like, yeah, you got to go to jail. So I didn't know I had got so many.
Mm-hmm.
So they took me to jail, and they got us in the chain gang. I'm like, this is crazy, right? And so this lawyer was representing this guy, and right before me, and this guy had a worse driving record than me. And so she got him like some type of deal where he had to get his license, pay for insurance, and the tickets was dismissed.
Yeah.
So then I reached up and I pulled on her. I said, hey, excuse me. I said, can you represent me? She's like, yeah, it's gonna be $100. I said, well, I ain't got no money now, but I can pay you.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, what's your name? So I gave her my name. She got my case called. I got the same deal that this guy got. So I went down to her office to pay her the money, and she said, so what do you do? And I said, I own a candy store. At that time, I had a candy store called Three Stripe Sweet Shop. And so she was like, you seem like you're too smart to own a candy store. She said, I'm gonna give you this address and this number to this class. You should go to it. So I said, all right, cool. So she gave it to me. I was like, cool. So I left. So she said, now remember, come back and show me you got your license so we can go back to the judge and get the cases dismissed. I said, cool. So I come back, and then she said, did you go to the class? And I said, no, I ain't go. She's like, I said, I was doing something. She was just like, okay, I'm gonna sign you up again. I said, well, all right, okay. So she signed me up again, gave me the card. I'm like, all right, cool. So she said, you got one more ticket that you need to go back for and get reopened. I said, okay. Go back, get the ticket reopened, come back, got my driver's license. She says, how was the class? I said, I didn't go.
Dang.
And she said, don't worry about it. I'll pay for it again. I said, you was paying for it? I said, oh my God. I said, I'm going. I said, give me the thing. I promise to God I'm going. So she gave it to me. So I go to the class. I'm too cool for school, so I'm sitting in the back. I really don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And so the guy comes out. He says his name was Mr. Sharansky, and he says, do anybody know the fastest depreciating asset in the world? And everybody raising their hand. People going, cars, nope. Boats, nope. Airplane, everybody saying everything, right? And I thought it was cars or something. I was like, it ain't that. I was like, what is it then? So he said the fastest depreciating asset in the world is me and you as human beings. So he said that's why when you're a baby, they say you can get $1 million worth of life insurance for a penny a day. But if you're 50 years old, it costs you $5,000 a minute.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so at that time, it was a guy named, I'm telling y'all so much now.
No, it's okay. That's fine.
But it was a guy named Tom Hicks, and he owned the Texas Rangers, the baseball team. And he bought the team for $250 million.
Wow.
And he paid Alex Rodriguez, the baseball player, $252 million. So he was like, how did he pay him more than what he paid for the team? And they was like, because he's depreciating that contract, that guy's age against his net worth. So he don't got to pay that much in taxes. I said, what? So he was like, all of these teams that we cheer for every Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, they can win whenever they want to. I was like, what? He was like the Yankees and the Brewers, right? The Yankees get the owner goes to the general manager. He says, here's $50 million, field me a team. So then they got enough to pay Derek Jeter and Bernie Williams and Andy Pettitte. But then the Brewers guys say, field me a team for $8 million. So then they can't get those players. So then the Yankees are good and the Brewers are not. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm talking about like, it was incredible. He was talking about this other guy named Malcolm Glazier. His family owned the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Remember when they used to wear the bags on their head?
Yep.
He said, so if this guy's so smart and he owns billions of dollars in real estate, why can't that team win? And he said, because the owner don't want him to. He don't want him to. And I was like, wow. And so all of that correlated into me wanting to get into fashion and then wanting to get into a store because I started learning about, like this, I'm talking about this dude was super smart. He's an old dude, probably about 5 feet tall, super smart man. So I got done. He gave me a certificate. He gave me a certificate. I took the certificate. When he recommended another class. It was called the First Time Home Buyers class that was ran by U.S. Bank. I went to that went through that class, that program, and then they gave me a like a not a voucher, but it was like if I bought a house in a 1 year time, I could get anywhere between $3,000 and $10,000 down payment from it was like a grant. And so when I ended up buying a building, and so I was buying a building, everything was fine, but I wasn't as savvy as I thought I was because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had a property management company. They was robbing me. You know, I was supposed to be making just say like $5,000 a month, but then they was like, "Oh, we went over there and changed the lock. That's $700. We went over there and fixed the toilet, $800." So by the time I got the money, it'd be like $200-$300. And so I ended up taking that building, and then just like my love for sneakers, I ended up turning that building into Clicks. So that's how I got
awesome story.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, one of the things that I really admire about you, man, is your why. Like it's all over your brand, right? For me, it's like you have Addy, who supports you. I mean, there's a lot of other brands that could support you, but Addy does. Like, how does your why drive your decisions, the community, the culture? How does that influence how you make your decision and what you do?
I just feel like it's a need out here so much. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a need out here. I feel like I think we all can do more.
Of course.
You know, to kind of like pave the way for the next generation. It's a big disconnect between. It's just a big disconnect between us and the youth, so to speak. You know, and I think, you know, like all the kids know that their parents love them, right? They might, regardless of whatever it is, they know their parents love them, but they need to know that we love them too. You know what I'm saying? So they look at us as an asset, and you know, not action, right? Like when they see me, I want them to look at me like, oh, that's the big homie. He be looking out. He trying to.
Right. He's giving me game. Right.
Yeah, man. Like I got a store, man. It's called Black Market. Sidebar off your question a little bit, but I got a store called Black Market, and I like fixed it up, right? It's like in the hood, like dead smack in the hood. Like gangs, it's like it's a middle street, gangs on this side, gangs on this side. They both weren't, right? And the store is right in the middle of that. And so I started remodeling the building because of the whole George Floyd thing. I just felt like the scales is so imbalanced, right? It's just so imbalanced. And so I was like, man, I want to do something to try to help that balance. And so I had the building. It was a barbershop. It had been closed probably about 5 months. George Floyd happens. I said, okay, I'm gonna make this into a store, right? So I put a store over there, and then they had another small, just probably a little bit bigger than this office. And I was like, I called that study hall, right? Because we all had study hall back. I don't even know if they still got that now, but we called it study hall. Yeah. And so I wanted to create a space because I was watching the news and I was reading so much about how like kids don't have Wi-Fi. You know, they don't got food. Like I'm talking about this is during the pandemic too. So they don't got Wi-Fi. They don't got food.
Computers.
They don't got computers. So all of these stuff was going on. So I went and bought like 3 Chromebooks. I put like, you know, a nice couch, a fridge in there. So then I had a couple teachers that was local. So we started setting up like on-site tutoring. So anybody could come. Like, so if you wanted to, you know, you wanted to work on your ACTs, you wanted to know how to fill out a proper job application, whatever it is, you could sign up, come to study hall, and then you could do it, you know. And we had the free Wi-Fi, we had, you know, all of that. That's because dope. I always wanted to, I never wanted to, I see so much of companies come to our neighborhoods, take the resources, and we never benefit off of any of it. So I wanted to be different than that. I wanted to be a resource. And so when I'm building up the store, the little kids in the neighborhood would always come over there and they see me. They said, when the store gonna be open? When the store gonna be open? I said, it's almost done, man. They said, can we come in? I let them come in and look. They was like, oh, wow, this is so nice. And they was like, can you do me a favor? And I said, what? They said, can you put bars on the window? And I said, what?
Wow.
And they said, yeah. And I said, why you want me to put bars on the window? And he said, because we want you to stay here. You see what I'm saying? And so now it's like 5 years later, and that store, like I said, in the middle of all that,
still
never had a window broken, a break-in, or nothing. Nothing.
That's
you know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying?
So that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
So something you touched on just a minute ago as far as the importance of like just paving the path, like, or for the future, right? For our next generation. And, you know, I know 2025, J Academy is launching. So tell us a little bit about that and just how that did that come to fruition.
So like J Academy, I started it back in 2008. You know what I'm saying? and I was just kind of, like I said, man, a lot of things that I've done in my life, I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
But I always started, and then I figured it out along the line, or I went and found somebody who knew
how to do it.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Who knew how to do it, or show me. You know what I'm saying? So I started off, man. I wanted to do kind of like a back to school thing, back to school drive, and so I called Adidas up, and I was like, "Yo, I want to get 50 pair of shoes."
Yeah.
And they was just like, "Okay, Shake, is that it?" And I was like,
That's it?
I never asked for that much. It's usually like 2-3 pairs. You know what I'm saying? 50. So I was just like, oh wow. So I was like, can I get some socks? They was like, that's it?
Yeah.
And they was like, I said, well, what else can I get? Then they said, you want some backpacks? I said, yeah.
Yeah.
What about hats? Yeah. So, they like, all right. They said, give us an address. I said, ship it to my house. They said, okay, it's on the way. Bye, it was there 2 days later. I was like, what? So I got it. I did my first event, but I didn't realize, it was only 50 pair of shoes. It was highly publicized, and it was like 200 people showed up. But I only had 50 pair of shoes. And then I didn't have an idea about size curves. There was a lot of 9s and 10 and a half, but there was a lot of people that wore 6 and 7s.
Yeah.
So I learned, and so I wanted J Academy to be something to be a resource, to be a resource. I just feel like it's just such a need out here. I know when I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club back in the day, I went there just for a little bit of time. But when I went there, I learned a lot of stuff, right? I used to learn stuff. I used to learn how to play pool, learn how to play basketball. I could beat Jamerson.
Yeah.
So I learned all these different things at the Boys and Girls Club. But then it seems like now it's not that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want to bring that back. Just kind of like what Pencil Lewis is, but on a smaller scale. Just bring that back. Because it's a lot of dope designers. I do a lot with, kids in Milwaukee. I do a lot as far as, I do these things called sneaker fairs, right? Where I let the kids design their own sneakers and stuff like that. And I just feel like, the way they gravitate towards it is incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I'm in Home Depot doing something, and mothers is coming up to me, you the man that did that? When y'all doing enough? You know what I'm saying? And I get that so much. If I had $1 for every time I got that, I'd be a billionaire. Because I'm telling you, they all want to do it again and again and again. Sure. And then I'm getting other schools want to know, why can he bring that to my school? And so that's the premise of what I want what the Academy is about to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So 2025.
That's awesome. Because, we talk about it all the time, but awareness breeds opportunity. And especially in our communities, I don't feel like the kids get to understand that they even have that opportunity to be able to design a shoe and things like that. So that's such a beautiful thing that you're doing. And then don't you do the back to school, you do the back, a back to school event, right? I feel like I seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
And that's dope.
But that part you said about design, right? See, they don't understand that it's so much money in this, and it's so much opportunity, right? They don't know, when they laying out those fresh fits to go to school, right? That's a stylist.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't know there's a pathway inside of footwear.
Yeah.
There's a pathway inside of footwear. So I just even when I just did when was the last one? April. So when I just did my last one in April for the launch of the 414-day sneaker, we had the kids design what does Milwaukee mean to them, and then they got the chance to tell the story of what they see. And I'm be honest, some of them shoes need to be in market right now. They need to go to market. Some of them was designing shoes with the corner stores because that's what they see.
Yeah.
Some was designing a bus. Some people was putting they full name on their shoes, and it was incredible. It was incredible. Out of all the things that I do, the sneaker fair is my favorite. Back to school is probably the biggest.
Yeah.
And all the rest of the stuff is just super necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking of 414 Day, tell me about even this, what I got on today.
So that's the 414-day sneaker. I was talking to a guy at Adidas named Tony Holmes, and he was telling me about I can't think of the name of the store, but he's talking about a store. And he said they was about to drop a 313-day shoe, and I was like, well, man, I said, why is it not a 414-day shoe for Milwaukee? And he said, because you haven't designed it yet. I said, what?
Yeah.
I said, well, send me the CAD, and I said, let's go.
Yeah.
So he sent me the CAD over, and we started designing and working on it, and so we had to get the sign off from the Bucks because you know, Dame is with the Bucks now, and so Adidas got a great relationship with Dame, you know, of course, and with the Bucks, and so they didn't want to kind of ruffle no feathers. So they said, "Yo, we got to make sure we get a sign off from the Bucks. You know, legal want to sign from the Bucks." I'm like, "All right, good, cool." So I'm friends with the owners and the president. So I called, you know, Peter up. I said, "Hey, Peter, I want to do this." You know what I'm saying? He said, "So why do?" So when I showed him the cat, he was like, "Well, why do they want us to sign off?" He said, "You want to use the antlers or something?" I was like, "Nah. They just talking about because of the colors." He said, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
So he was just like, "Okay, cool." So probably 2 hours later, he sent me the letter from legal, signed off on it, and the shoe was born. Yeah, shoe was born.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that shoe's super dope, clean. I like it a lot. You know, I'm a Bucks fan, so OG Bucks colorway on the stripes.
Yeah.
You know, the brick tongue is
Can y'all see?
is what Milwaukee's known for. That Cream City brick.
Yeah.
And then we got one tongue where Adidas is dipped in beer, and the other tongue is in cheese. And then,
That's dope.
Yeah, see, you ain't even catch that.
I didn't catch that.
And you didn't even catch you got a number pair too.
Oh,
Yeah, so your number, you got number 275.
where is that at?
See what I'm saying? Look through your good eye.
I know.
See? Yep. And then on the insole, it's like a lot of things that Milwaukee known for is like bowling, beer, cheese. We got this famous bridge called the Home Bridge, so all of that is on the insole. So we just wanted to tell that story through that shoe.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So what's next, man? What's the next thing you're trying to get into? What's the evolution of Shake? What's next?
I got 4 shoes coming out in December 7th. The Twilight Pack, so I got that coming. 2025, I got 414, another 414 day shoe.
Dope.
I got a Ruku coming out in August, and then I have Day One, which was my first shoe. We got Day One Volume 2, so we running that back in November. Yeah,
that's dope. Congratulations.
And then the J Academy's coming. You know,
got you.
So we're gonna get that going. So that's the real win right there.
I love that. So listen, I mean, a lot of great things. It's exciting to be able to see as far as just like your future plans. And, you know, I know not everybody gets to see, but like he has a lot of following, you know, different people in here supporting him. And, you know, we support from afar, but just curious as far as like, if you could say, to the audience and that's watching you today, like truly like just some advice and some like just drop some gems for them, you know, to really motivate them and encourage them to keep going, because it's not easy to do what you do. It's like, I mean, it's good to be able to see where you are, but you know, it's like definitely, I'm sure there has been sacrifices and downs and ups, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, what keeps you going, or what would you encourage someone who is trying to follow in your footsteps?
That's a tough one. I mean, I guess I don't never give up. You know what I'm saying? I'll never give up. I'm definitely a fighter. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I would think everybody, like, nothing is easy, right? It's always a struggle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they always say, what's the saying? All ideas is crazy until they work, right?
Exactly.
And so I look at things like that. I think all things are possible, you know, and I don't know, man. I'm just like, I just don't give up. You know, I just don't give up. Like, even if I'm told no, I take the no, but then I'm just going to pivot and try to go around the no, you know what I'm saying, and still make it happen. So I just think like you got to, but I got a good team. I got a good team around me. That's the number one. I would think you got to have a good team around you. Yeah. You got to have some good people, you know what I'm saying, around you. And especially, and it worked for me because the people around me, vision is aligned with mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a dope, like, this guy named John. He dope with flyers. So, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like, it's easy for me to pick the phone and say, hey, John, I need a flyer for back to school. He'd be like, bro, he's like, all right, bet. It's on the way. And then he sent it to me, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I could tell Ricky, like, yo, I need you to come catch some photos for me. Boom. He on the way. He catching the photos, right? So it's just, you know, it's just easy when you have, it's hard to kind of like find all of those people, but it's easy when you do it. You know what I'm saying? So it might look like it's me because I'm sitting here and it's Shake did this, Shake did that. But I got a good team around me, man. I got like a lot of people, man, that work for the brand, that pull for me. You know what I'm saying? They really do. I really appreciate all of them. Sidebar quest story, but I dropped the Day One sneaker, And it was like, if I could tell you, it was like the entire North America Adidas was pulling for me to drop that shoe, and they wanted to make sure that everything was right. You know, like I mean, that's the one Dion got on right now.
All right.
So if I could do it over, like, it's like as you as you work on sneakers, for me, I didn't know to the length of things you could do with the sneakers, right? I didn't know the materials and stuff like that. So that one was kind of like, they brought it to me. I kind of hurried up. I look at it, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of things I would do differently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they pulled for me, man, and made it happen. Like through the course of my life, I met a lot of like dope people, you know, like people in the music industry and stuff like that. And so just to see all of those people show up for me, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy, man. I mean, just to, you know, from Onyx to, you know, the Outlaws, Jadakiss, Brooklyn Queen, like just all of these people, man. Just, I mean, it was more people than that, and I was like, dude, it's already too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just to see all of them, you know, showing up for me, you know, Usher, you know, he wore those shoes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what else you say after that? You know what I'm saying?
For real.
That's
like,
blessing.
you know,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
blessing.
So,
That's blessing.
yeah, so I just all through the course of my life, I always wanted to be an honorable guy. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted to, you know, just kind of, you know, keep my word to things, you know what I'm saying, and always be above board. And so, like, so when I make those calls or ask, you know, for those, because that's one of my biggest problems, one of my biggest flaws, I should say. I hate asking for stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I know we might argue, but I really do. You know what I'm saying? And then one of my good friends, Steve Lobel, he said this to me. He said, Shake, we spent our life creating these incredible Rolodexes, right? So if we got all these people in our Rolodex, then why are we not using them? He said, then what did we create it for? And I was like, man, you're right. You know, so that's the way I kind of look at things. But yeah, I don't like asking for stuff, but I truly appreciate North America. They really, I mean, they continue to do it, but that first one, man, you know, you only get one time to go first. Yeah. And that first one, they showed up.
They showed up for you.
I feel like you just dropped some gems right there, though, because I feel like, right, I mean, honestly, sometimes people don't realize that your net worth can be tied to your network, and really utilizing those, you know, relationships and just the power of truly networking, right? Because you just never know. And just kind of what you said when you rolled through, and you be like, oh, dang, they there now? Like, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to tell you an ill story. So T.I. came to Milwaukee to do this concert, right? So it's all, you know how these backstage people running around, oh, let me get a picture. So he see me. I'm like, what up, bro? He said, what's up, big bro? He said, come here, man. So I said, what's up? So I come over there. He said, man, so I don't even know these people. So he said, he got his arm around me. He said, man, I want to tell y'all something about this band right here. So he talking about me. I'm like, what? I'm like, what I do, right? He said, everywhere I go and this man's name come up, it's always in good conversation. He said, it don't matter. He said he ain't from Atlanta. He said, but I'm standing there talking to Greg Street, and this man's name came up, and Street face light up, and he started telling the story, right? He said, and so then he says that's why your name card and your face card is better than the credit card.
It is.
That's real.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have a question. I just want to give you a statement. Continue to do all the work you're doing, man. You killing it out here. Continue to work from a place of purpose, bro.
Yes.
Because like it's obvious that it drives you, you know. So this was a dope ass conversation, and I appreciate you for being on the Blacklights
Appreciate y'all
podcast.
having me, man.
For sure.
To be honest with you, just because, like, honestly, it's no surprise how successful you are, though. It's because of what you're putting out there.
Gotcha.
Right? And I feel like it always it comes back.
Gotcha.
You know, so continue to keep putting it out there. Continue to keep, you know, being the leader that you are. Very, very proud of you as well. Just to even be an honor to sit next to you.
Thank
and
you.
just
I appreciate
continue
it.
to watch what you're
For
doing
sure.
and how you're going to get back to the youth. And then we're going to be able to create even more leaders based
There
off
you
of,
go.
you know what I mean?
That's the
What
real
you're
win.
doing. Yeah.
That's the real win.
Awesome.